Hello everyone! I'm finally back to work on a new project, a romper for baby. In this tutorial, you will get a ready pattern for sizes from 0 to 2 years old baby, and also understandable instructions for all technical points you encounter on the way. Here's the romper, and I'm going to show you how you can knit this one yourself. As you see, it has an opening on the side. It has an anatomic elevation of the backside, has a pattern in the center, two sleeves, has an opening here in the bottom, and I-cord edge. Before we start, let me give you some general information. I love to share my knowledge and I love to be helpful to everyone eager to learn knitting. If you want to get a PDF pattern of the romper for free, follow me in Instagram, Knitting. Like a couple of pictures and send the text PDF romper for free as a direct message. You will get a link after completing all requirements. Otherwise, you can buy this one on my Etsy page. The link to PDF pattern you will find in the description. For baby garment, I use merino wool, which is soft and warm and doesn't cause any allergic reaction. I use Norwegian yarn Drops Merino Extra Fine. For this project, you need from 150 to 300 gram yarn, depends on the size. But if you have some more, to be sure you have enough. To follow this tutorial, you want to reach the gauge 22 stitches in 10 centimeters. To read the gauge using Drops Merino Extra Fine, I take main needle size 4.5 millimeters. If you would like to use another yarn with another gauge, I explain how to calculate customized romper in another video. I will attach the link as soon as this video will be released. Five double-pointed needles 4.5 millimeters and 3.5 millimeters, or a circle needle 4.5 millimeters 40 centimeters. If you use magic loop technique, circle needles of sizes 3.5 and 4.5 millimeters will be enough. Markers, plastic needle for sewing, buttons 8 to 10 millimeters 5 pieces. You can buy buttons after finishing the project to be sure the size is the right one. We start from the neck, moving down, separate sleeves, knit the body, separate back and front, knit them one after another, do I-cord edge, then knit sleeves. In the pattern, you find 5 sizes. First, you choose the size you want to knit and see the position of this size. For example, I take size 6 to 9 months, which has third position in a range of sizes. Therefore, everywhere I see numbers for each size, I pick up the third number or the number that has a third position. In the pattern, you find many examples where you simply need to find your number to follow. If there is just one number, it means it is common for all sizes. I start knitting from casting on the number of stitches I calculated myself or have already pre-calculated in my pattern. I take smaller needles and get 69 stitches to cast on. Then I do 2 rows of the rib, 1 knit, 1 purl stitch. In the third row, I need to make a hole for the future button. As I have only 5 stitches for the button plate, I do next 1 slip, 1 knit, yarn over, then 2 stitches together as a knit, one purl, and then just keep knitting my rib. My rib is about 2-3 centimeters. Here in the chart you see that we have 5 stitches pattern and each row is presented 1, 2, 3 and 4. As we do stockinette stitch, it means that rows 1 and 3 will always be on the right side, 2 and 4 on the wrong side. My raglan starts from 1 purl stitch, then 3 knit stitches and 1 purl stitch. Turn the knitting. Normally, chart shows how the stitches look on the right side. In my case, they're supposed to look the same on the right side, even if I turn my knitting. It means that here instead of purl stitches, I do knit stitches. Instead of knit stitches, I do purl stitches. Shouldn't be any problems here. Then we come to row 3. Here I do 1 purl stitch and then we have 3 stitches. The third one I drag over the previous 2. Now I have only 2 left. I do 1 knit stitch, 1 yarn over and 1 knit stitch again. Therefore it becomes again 3 stitches. On the wrong side I do just the same, 1 knit stitch, 3 purl stitches, 1 knit stitch. That's how the pattern looks. This chart is most complicating among others for this romper. It consists of 6 stitches and 15 rows. Pay attention that only uneven rows are represented. 1, 3, 5, etc. Row 1. Easy. 1 purl stitch, 5 knit stitches. Row 2. In my chart I don't have row 2, it means I simply repeat the row below. In circle knitting I do 1 purl stitch and 5 knit stitches. In stockinette, when I turn my knitting, I do exactly the stitches I see below. If it's a knit stitch, I do knit stitch. If it's a purl stitch, I do the purl stitch. As a result, I will have 5 purl stitches and 1 knit stitches repeating. Row 3 and row 4 are pretty much identical. You do it without me. Row 5. Here start from 1 purl stitch, then 1 yarn over, then a decrease that I do next way. I slip 1 stitch, then knit 1 stitch and slip over the second one. You just need to remember the sequence: slip, knit, slip, and you remember the order of the movements. 1 knit stitch. Then I have knit, slip, slip. So I knit first stitch, I slip this one back to the left needle, I drag the second one over the first. And yarn over. Do with me. 1 purl stitch, yarn over, I slip 1 stitch, knit the next one and drag first one over. 1 knit stitch, 1 knit stitch, slip it back to the left needle and drag over. yarn over. I turn my knitting and repeat the pattern the way that all purl stitches in front become knit in the wrong side, and all purl stitches, including all yarn over, become purl stitches. Rows 7, 9 and 11 are easy to read, you know already all the stitches here. Just remember that on the wrong side you repeat the pattern the way you see it. Row 13 is absolutely the same as row 5, just pay attention to the sequence of the stitches. Then you manage the whole chart. In the end, you get quite interesting pattern. Next step, I take the regular needles or half or one size bigger needles and going to set all markers that will separate all parts. Row 1. The first 5 stitches of the bottom plate I do as a knit stitches. They will be always knit stitches regardless of the front or wrong side I do. Set a marker. Before and after each bottom plate and raglan, I do increases each uneven row. Here I do the first increase after the bottom plate. For that I need to pull the thread in between stitches. The loop should be in front. As it's pretty tight, I need to loosen it a bit this way. Then it's easy to make a knit stitch. Then I have 7 stitches of one sleeve that are only knit stitches. As next will be a raglan, I have to do an increase again. In front of each raglan, I leave the thread in between stitches the way the loop is behind the needle. I do a knit stitch and set a marker. Now I have the first raglan. My raglan is 5 stitches and therefore I read the chart 1, where in the first row I have 1 purl stitch, 3 knit stitches, 1 purl stitch, and set the marker. After the marker I do another increase. After the marker the loop has to be in front. I pull it a bit to make some room for my needle and do a knit stitch. 5 stitches of the back. One increase before the raglan and set marker. Raglan, 1 purl, 3 knit, 1 purl stitches according to my chart. Set marker. Increase after the raglan. Seven stitches of the sleeve. Increase before the raglan and set a marker. Raglan, 1 purl stitch, 3 knit stitches, 1 purl stitch, set a marker. Increase after the marker. Now is the most interesting part, the pattern of the front. Of course, sometimes you can just do chart from the very beginning, from the first stitch, but it's better to learn how to make it symmetrical. For the front, I have 15 stitches. My chart, however, is 6 stitches. I need to place it to the center. From the center, I set the chart as a tile by the both sides and see how many stitches I can use here. In my case, I take 4 stitches of the first row before the central tile and 5 after. All next rows I have to check the previous stitch in the beginning of the row to keep the chart correct. Therefore, here I do 4 knit stitches of the end of the chart, then the whole chart, and then 5 stitches of the next tile. Increase before the bottom plate, and the bottom plate is always just knit stitches. I completed the first row and turn my knitting. In the wrong side I do 5 stitches of a bottom plate as knit stitches. Then I repeat the pattern of my front chart. Therefore, all knit stitches I encounter will be knit stitches, purl stitches will be purl stitches. All increases I do as purl stitches. The same with all raglans. You can check how you do the wrong side checking your own chart. Now 2 rows are ready and therefore the first increase row. All next uneven rows we do the same way, increasing before and after raglans and bottom plates. After increasing half of times, for example, a total amount of increasing rows is 18, after finishing 9 of them, I will do a hole for the button. Here's what I have already. The pattern of the front is readable, as well as all raglans. I start my row, do 1 slip and 1 knit stitches, then yarn over, 2 stitches together and 1 knit stitch. On the wrong side I will do purl stitch from the yarn over to get the hole for the button. And then I just keep knitting my pattern. See us when we do all increases.